There comes a moment in every thinking person's life when something finally clicks. Not everyone is confused. Not everyone is misunderstood. Some people are toxic by design. They don't want clarity. They don't want peace. They want a reaction. They thrive off your confusion, your need to explain, your instinct to fix things. And like leeches, they feed not on your anger, but on the calm you sacrifice trying to be understood. The more you give, the more they take. And suddenly, you're not solving a problem. You're dancing for their amusement. So what do? We remember what the Stoics already knew: your peace is not a gift. It's a fortress. Seneca once wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Why? Because in the delay, their poison evaporates. Not by magic, but by your refusal to breathe it in. This brings us to the first behavior you must never tolerate. 1. Disrespect disguised as humor. You've seen it. You've felt it. Someone says something cutting, cruel, humiliating. But they smile. They laugh. And then they say the most manipulative phrase in the English language: relax, it was just a joke. But it wasn't. It was a test. They were checking your boundaries. They wanted to see how much disrespect you're willing to swallow to keep the peace. To not overreact. To stay likable. This isn't humor, it's camouflaged domination. And if you allow it once, they'll do it again. Because your silence signals approval. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." And the Stoic path is not to fight fire with fire. It's to walk away from the circus altogether. So don't explain. Don't perform. Don't try to teach them a lesson. Just go quiet. Let the joke fall flat. Let the silence ring. And in that silence, they'll finally hear themselves. You are not entertainment. Your dignity is not on the table. And disrespect, no matter how funny it sounds, is still a blade. Some people don't yell. They don't insult. They don't throw fits. No, these people are smarter. They smile. They compliment you. They say all the right things, while pulling invisible strings. This brings us to the second behavior you must never tolerate. 2. Manipulation disguised as care. They say they care about you. They say they're only looking out for you. But somehow, every conversation leaves you feeling smaller, more uncertain, and less free. They offer help, but with conditions. They offer advice, but demand obedience. And every time you set a boundary, they act wounded. How could you say that to me after everything I've done for you? That's not care. That's emotional blackmail. And the worst part? They'll twist your kindness into compliance. They'll make you feel guilty for wanting space. They'll praise your selflessness, only when it benefits them. Epictetus once warned, "Keep your will in harmony with nature and no man shall harm you." And nature does not obey guilt. It does not shrink to avoid conflict. True care gives you space to breathe, not chains to wear. You are not selfish for protecting your peace. You are not cruel for refusing to be controlled. When kindness becomes a leash, cut the rope. Quietly. Calmly. Without a scene. Because when they realize they no longer have access to your guilt, they lose control of the game. And you gain something far more powerful: sovereignty. There's a knock at your emotional door. You open it, and they're back. Smiling, apologizing, promising. But last time, they left you in pieces. And next time, they'll probably do it again. This brings us to the third behavior you must never tolerate. 3. The inconsistency that breeds chaos. They're here. Then gone. Then back again. They promise the moon on Monday. Disappear on Tuesday. And by Friday, they expect your full trust, again. You begin to question yourself. Maybe you're too sensitive. Maybe you should be more patient. Maybe they're the storm, and you just need a better umbrella. But the truth? They are not unpredictable. They're consistent in one thing: creating chaos. They don't forget to show up when it matters. They choose not to. And their inconsistency becomes your emotional prison. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." And wasting time on chaotic souls? That's the slowest form of self-destruction. You're not their emotional safe house. You're not their therapist, nor their lifeline. And your peace? That's your responsibility. Let them live in their storm. You're not obligated to drown in it. Silence doesn't mean bitterness, it means boundaries. Because your calm is not a resource for the disordered. It is a fortress. Guard it. They once helped you da. They once stood by you da. They were there, back then. Now they use that memory like a weapon. They say, after everything I've done for you, you owe me this. You wouldn't be here without me. It sounds like care da, but it's not. This brings us to the fourth behavior you must never tolerate. 4. Entitlement masquerading as loyalty. There's a difference between support and ownership da. Between loyalty and control. Some people confuse standing with you for permission to stand over you. They keep score da. They collect favors like debt da. And when you draw boundaries, they act betrayed. But here's the truth. Love that demands obedience is not love da. It's control in disguise. The Stoic Heraclitus taught that our obligations exist in circles, first to ourselves, then to those closest, then to society. But no circle grants someone the right to invade the center of your peace. When someone constantly reminds you of their past kindness, not to uplift you, but to manipulate you, they've already stopped caring about your present well-being. A healthy bond uplifts da. It doesn't guilt da. It respects space da. It doesn't demand access. We're not here to live in emotional debt. You can be grateful and still walk away da. You can honor the past without being imprisoned by it. So say thank you. Say it with calm da. Say it with grace. And then, close the door. Some people won't stop da. Even after silence da. Even after distance da. Even after your peace becomes obvious. They'll still test the door, hoping it opens. But they don't realize. You've changed the lock da. You've fortified the walls da. And most importantly, you've outgrown the need to explain why. This brings us to the final behavior you must never tolerate. 5. The invasion of your inner peace. Toxic people don't always want to ruin your life da. They just want a seat at the table, even if they bring poison to the feast da. They want your reaction da. Your attention da. Your energy. But here's the secret Stoics have known for centuries. The most devastating thing you can do to someone who feeds on your energy is starve them of it. You don't have to scream da. You don't have to block or curse or get even. You simply stop dancing for them. Because when they no longer control your attention, they no longer exist in your world. Seneca said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." So, let them speak da. Let them gossip da. Let them guess. But your silence, your growth, your absence, will echo louder than any argument. You don't escape toxic people by winning the conflict. You escape them by making them irrelevant. That's real power da. That's inner armor da. That's the quiet revolution. And in that stillness, in that sacred calm, you finally become what they cannot touch. Untouchable.